بشرى لنا نلنا المنى زال العنا وفى الهنا بشرى لنا نلنا المنى زال العنا وفى الهنا بشرى لنا نلنا المنى زال العنا وفى الهنا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are with us again, once again, on your favorite page, on your favorite YouTube page, Essence of Light Foundation. Alhamdulillah. Once again, we are meeting here for the month of Ramadan so that we can be reminding each other regarding on what we can do and what we cannot do in this month of Ramadan. And Essence of Light Foundation is here by empowering through enlightenment. Not only that, Alhamdulillah, we are also bringing different scholars from different countries around the world who are coming here to inspire us, to guide us, to show us the right way on how we can attain the full blessings of this month of Ramadan. And because of that, because month of Ramadan only does not come to you and me, but also it comes to the children, to the parents. So now, as the parents, as the children, we need to know on what we can do and what we cannot do. And this topic, inshallah, will be explained to us by none other than Moulana from Mozambique, Alhamdulillah, who will be with us just now, inculcating and making sure that he is enlightening us regarding the children and Ramadan in the month of Ramadan. Live Ramadan transmission, day 12. Alhamdulillah, our viewers, I would like to greet you all with the best greeting of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you are just tuning in, Alhamdulillah, please try your best by making sure that you drop a message or you drop a comment. Show us where you are watching us from. That way, inshallah, we are able to know what's happening. And let me introduce you to our guests, Alhamdulillah, today from all the way from Mozambique. Assalamu alaikum, Hazrat.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Moulana?
Alhamdulillah, a very cold day, but Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah. It's cold and we're having a nice sunshine. But Alhamdulillah, we can't complain. Last night we had a very heavy snows, but yes, we're continuing, Alhamdulillah, surviving as long as we're alive. What about that side, Moulana? How is Maputo? Moulana is in Maputo? Is Moulana in Beila or Maputo?
I'm in Beira, actually, the central in Beira.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. I had a sharaf, I had an opportunity, Alhamdulillah, where I visited Mozambique a couple of times. Alhamdulillah, I was in Maputo, Bailan, all around there. Alhamdulillah. I know there is one mosque. Is it Medina Mosque? Medina Mosque, I think. It's a big, it's a huge mosque. I think it's in Maputo.
There is Medina Mosque, which belongs to Dawat Islami, and there is
yes, Dawat Islam.
Juma Mosque also, which belongs to a Sunni community here in Maputo.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Since that side is cold, that side here is hot. Alhamdulillah. You know, this is the karam of Allah. He changes the places, different weathers at the same time. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Hazrat, I understand you told me when we are having the conversation about this program, you gave me a time limit because Moana is very busy. So, inshallah, without much ado, I would like to ask Moana, inshallah, just to greet our people. Then, inshallah, we jump into the topic of children and Ramadan, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Moana, now, as far as we are in this month of Ramadan, how would we make children understand that this is the month of Ramadan? How would we make them understand this month?
Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. For all our viewers, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Going
Wa
straight to
alaikum
the
assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
answering the question that Moulana gave to us right now, on how can we make our children know about Ramadan, there is many different ways in which we can show our children to learn about Ramadan. But first and foremost, we have to know that the kids, they don't learn by words, they learn by examples. So the best way for us to show the children how to live in Ramadan, how to act upon, how to see the month of Ramadan, its greatness, and so on. We have to act upon, we have to act correctly in the month of Ramadan. We have to be so punctual in our prayers. We have to be fasting properly. We have to be doing all the rituals that are to be done in the month of Ramadan. In this way, the children will be learning from what they see, not from only what they hear. And of course, if we say something, then we do the same thing that we say. So the children will learn very fast, inshallah, with examples, not only by words. So we should always be first ones doing some things, then we tell our children to do the things that we want them to do. Inshallah, in this way, they will be able to learn about Ramadan, inshallah.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Yes, the parents, we understanding right now, Alhamdulillah. We are learning that kids do not do what we tell them, but kids, they do what they see, what we are acting, how we doing. If you are fasting as a parent, a child cannot fast. What Mona is saying, a child cannot fast because you told him to fast, to do the Ramadan. But the child will do the Ramadan, will do the fasting when he sees you fasting, when you see you carrying the Quran, you're reading in the month of Ramadan. He sees you doing something about Ramadan, you do the ibadat, then the child will come and inshallah you'll see the child, then he will also be doing what you are doing. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant our parents long life. But the day
Ameen.
when we die, as a parent, the child will be saying, my daddy used to do the fasting all full days. So why should I leave out? Or my dad used to pray namaz. Why shouldn't I also pray namaz? These are the things they normally say when we pass away. So it is very important, as the advice of Maulana here, that our actions in front of our kids has to be at the best. And especially in this month of Ramadan, we as the parents, we need to do the fasting. Maulana, as far as now you have given the parents advice on how to act in front of the kids, on how to be a good example to the parents, to the kids. But now, how can we train our kids do the fasting? Because I know it's very hard to let the child to stay for 9, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours without drinking, without eating. It's not easy, Marana. But how can we train our children on how to do the fasting, Marana?
Yes, Islam is very simple and easy. And Alhamdulillah, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam have given us a very good way of teaching our children. And an example, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam speaks about salah, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Muru awladakum wa hum sab'a sinin." Command your children to make salat when they are 7 years old, and wadribuhum, and hit them a little bit when they are about 10 years old. So this formula we can use also for fasting. We can start when they are 7 years old. We can let them fast, not a complete fast. We can tell them to fast from from 4 o'clock. Example, in my country, we start 4:30. Suhoor ends and it starts the fasting. So from 4:30, they can be fasting until 12 o'clock. An example, if they are 7 years old, they will be able to do that. 7, 8 years old, they will be able to do that, as long as the parents explain to them how important Ramadan is, and let them be fasting from 4 o'clock after eating suhoor, of course, since they are children, they have to eat the suhoor. So they eat and they stay from 4 o'clock until 12 o'clock. Then they break their fast for 1, 2 years. If they keep on they use on doing that, in the third year, inshallah, they will be fasting full Ramadan. Because first is the training. You start from little, then you increase, then you make them do the full time. Is the way how Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us about salah. We start from 7, little bit, then 10. Then once they reach the proper age, they are used of praying or used of fasting. But if we wait for them to be baligh, to be fasting, it will be difficult for them.
MashaAllah, we are learning here and we are understanding, it happens in our homes sometimes, in our places where we are living, alhamdulillah. You'll find that, we have that norm, oh, living, we still a child, he's going to learn when he grows up, but alhamdulillah, today we have learned that, we have to start while they are young, at these ages, 7, as what Mona is saying. We have to start and grow them like that, bring them in that way. And inshallah, when they're older, when they reach 14, 15, they are good, they are fasting on their own. Not you waiting when they're 15. And it's going to be hard when they're 15 and 16, 17. It's going to be hard. It's hard to train someone who is already older. So it's very
Of
important,
course.
as what Mon is advising us, that we need to start at the earliest age. Then that way, inshallah, is going to be easy. But Mona, like from back home, now I know this is just something, it's just I'm going to throw on you. From back home, it happens sometimes that there is a misconception, and can I call it misconception, or there is a tradition to say that, oh, when we are fasting, those who are not fasting, they shouldn't come and sit on the same table when we are doing the iftar. Now, when it comes to the kids, they're not fasting. Should we keep them away also?
No, the best way is when the kids are not fasting, we shouldn't keep them away from the table. Because if we keep them away from the table, we will actually be keeping them away from learning about Ramadan. So since we're teaching them about Ramadan, we should keep them also in the table and on the table for them to learn about what are the things that are to be done in the time of iftar and just before iftar, the dua and so on. So if they sit together with the elders, they will be learning that in iftar time, this is done, and next day, or maybe next month or next year, the following year in which we have to fast, they will be coming and fasting together with us. Another example that I want to give, an example, there are those little kids that are brought into the masjid, and when they go to the masjid, they be making noise behind the masjid. Sometimes the elders don't like that noise and they chase them away. But it is said that if you chase those children away from the masjid today, they are the same children that will go after them tomorrow. They are the youngsters that will go behind them tomorrow to bring them back to the masjid. Why? Because when they were small, we didn't teach them the manners of staying in the masjid. We rather chase them away from the masjid. The same problem is going to happen with the kid that is taken away from the table of iftar. We shouldn't chase them away. We should keep them with us on the table and teach them on how Ramadan fasting is done, so they will learn little by little learn, and inshallah in near future, inshallah.
It is very, very important that we have to keep our kids next to us when we are having iftar. Let them see, as we said in the beginning, let them see themselves, the actions we are doing, the dua we are making before the iftar, and all that. And this way, inshallah, they will be also doing the same thing when they grow. But more sometimes it happens. Now we have taught the children from the early ages to start doing the fasting, and you as a parent, you know your responsibility to make sure that they are doing the fasting in the early ages. Now, after they have grown up a little bit, maybe they have reached the age where it's now mandatory upon them, it's now compulsory upon them to do the fasting. But then they are having the difficulties in fasting. They are failing, they're not fulfilling the fasting. How can we deal with that situation, Maulana?
Yes, normally there is an age in which they reach the bulugh, they become baligh. So when they become baligh, Islam says that the fasting is fard upon them, is obligatory. So we as parents, we should try to bring a way in which they will be loving the fasting. So one of the ideas, I don't know if it's the best of ideas, but one of the ideas is, since they are starting fasting, like is their first
Maulana,
period of fasting,
Maulana, Maulana,
one of the ideas that we have is,
Maulana. What if
G,
I beat the child?
what
Can I beat
if?
the child? Can I beat the child?
G,
Beating
no,
him.
no. Because if we teach them in that way, they won't be loving the action. They won't be loving the action.
True.
So we should rather do the opposite. Uh, I remember a hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in which he says, "Tahadu tahabu," you know, exchange gifts with each other, so it will create love between each other. So if we take this hadith and we take the children, we can do such that if the month of Ramadan comes, we tell them, if you fast one day, I will give you such gift. And if you fast 2 days, I'll give you such gift. Third day, such gift, and so on. Once Ramadan finishes, and he will be collecting his gifts, so he will be loving the action of fasting because he knows that his father or his parents will give him something. So we tell them that the next year we don't give them the gifts. We tell them that Allah is gonna give you. So little by little, because of course the first year he will be like 13 and 14. The following year he will be about 15 to 16. So his mind will be opened and he will understand more. The gifts won't be necessary because he will be understanding now. But in the first year, is needed to push him up a little bit with some gifts, some things that to cool his heart, just to bring him closer and closer to the month of Ramadan for him to be loving the action and start doing it, inshallah, for the sake of Allah.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. And we, sometimes some sisters, some mothers, after Maulana, you have inspired us on how uh, we can train and teach our kids on the fasting. Maulana, are there any some other tips or some other activities which can promote or encourage these kids? Or what are the tips which we can do in order for us to keep our kids in the fasting?
Yes, another another tips that we can use is to keep them always with us, you know, always in our company. If we go to the masjid, we go with them. If we go home, we go with them. Because once they are with us, they will feel secure, and they won't feel the need of breaking fast or of doing something else. And Tell them to keep always in the company of those people who are fasting. Because if they go and they roam around with people who are not fasting, so their mind will go away from that which is the purpose of the month. They won't be concentrated. But once they are fasting and they are moving around with people who are fasting, so they will automatically be fasting, be in the yani in that spirit of fasting. This takes me back to the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which he says that al-mar'u ala dini khalilihi falyanzur ahadukum man yukhalil, that the person is with the religion of his friend, so he should see who he keeps as friend. So if you're fasting and you're moving around with people who are not fasting, of course, as a child, he might go astray and break his fast on the way. So if he is moving with people who are fasting, especially with those people who are Muslims, so it's gonna be easier for him to carry on his fast in the first months, inshallah.
Inshallah, mashallah. We have also, Alhamdulillah, Maulana Sirajuddin. He says, mashallah, this is a very good idea, Maulana. Maulana, that's Alhamdulillah, a good feedback from our viewers. And also, man also was our guest. We have also Brother Ahmad Murad, who is also from Canada, watching us from Canada. And also, we have Maulidi Dino. And I think he says, watching from Mozambique. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you in abundance. So we have, alhamdulillah, the viewers from around the world, alhamdulillah. Mona, continuing here, I just received the message here on my WhatsApp. The sister is saying, she's watching us on YouTube. She says, now, sometimes when I send my child to the mosque for Taraweh with his father, and it happens that at the mosque, the child, he gets pushed away, go away, don't stand with us in the Taraweh. In the mosque, should this mother take away this child away? Or in the mosque, do they have any part, or what should be the position for the children in the mosque? Where should they be praying? Should they be in the first swaf, or what is the position for the children in the mosque? Or should just keep them at the house? I think Mona, your network. Now, Alhamdulillah, I think our guest is having technical issues, inshallah. But we should be able. I hope that we are just waiting for our Maulana is having some troubles with the network, with the technicals, and inshallah, Maulana should be just now in, inshallah. Yes, as Maulana was addressing us and he was advising us on how to keep our children in this month of Ramadan, trying to train them in the early ages, trying to teach them in the early ages, let them start practicing the fasting. Let them be involved in the fasting, not just you being alone and, oh, okay, I'm gonna start teaching him the fasting while he's at the big age where he's old and all that. But it's very, very important you start training the child when he is young. That way, he's going to be able to learn. He's going to be able to do what you are training. And also, it was an advice of Maulana that we should try our best, making sure that we keep these kids with us together and not only just forcing them with the words, but we have to start ourselves with the actions. When they see our actions, then they are going to imitate. They are going to copy our actions. And I think Moana, our case is having problems, but I think the answer from the sister which was asking about the position for the kids, where should the kids be when you go with your child at the mosque? Keep your children. Alhamdulillah, it's very, very good that you take the children at the mosque. But it's very, very important that we have to remember the fifth swaf, especially behind the Imam. That place, it's only for the Hufaz and the ulama. They have to be behind the Imam in case anything happens to the Imam, and then they can cover up, they can substitute the Imam. And then likewise going the first swaf, second swaf, and at the back, at the end of the lines, at the end of the rows, that's where then we can keep our children. But it is very, very important, but it is very, very important that we keep our children together with us at the mosque. Let them come with us. And inshallah, when we pass away, they'll remember that my father, my mother used to take me to the mosque. So let's not deprive these benefits and these blessings to our children. And this, inshallah, takes us to the end of today's program. I think our guest is having problems with his technical, but jazakallah for tuning in. And I hope you have enjoyed this. And I hope these tips which we have learned today, they should be helpful in our life, inshallah. Jazakallah once again for tuning in. And also, I would like to send my warmful thanking our guest, Maulana Abdul Ghani, all the way from Mozambique, who was, alhamdulillah, teaching us and guiding us and giving us the tips on how we can keep our children in this month of Ramadan together with us. Jazakallah, Maulana, if you are watching us, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you in abundance, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase in your knowledge. Jazakallah once again. And tomorrow's guest, inshallah, we are going to have another guest from Malawi, alhamdulillah, very good personality who's going to be with us tomorrow, inshallah, and hopefully that he joins us. His name is none other than Maulana Nabil, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah for tuning in once again. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.